The sight of a lake brings to mind pleasant memories of swimming with friends and time spent fishing with family. However, if you live near an ever-increasing amount of bodies of water around the US, activities like these are getting harder to do because of something called nutrient pollution. Plants found on land rely on elements like nitrogen and phosphorus to grow, and the same holds true for those found in aquatic environments. Normally, nitrogen and phosphorus go through cycles that are taken through a variety of sources in the environment, but as human populations have expanded, our needs for food and living space have also increased. That means we've created more land that we fertilize, and through animal husbandry we raise organisms whose manure are rich in phosphates. These nutrients wouldn't be as large of an issue if they stayed in one place to be taken up by plants, but when it rains, water begins moving downward due to the force of gravity. Now, in a non-urban environment, most rainfall is absorbed into the soils through a process called infiltration. But as cities grow, soil is replaced with surfaces like asphalt and concrete where rain cannot make into the soil, and that causes any rainfall to become runoff, carrying with it nutrients, not to mention the oil, dust, and other residue from our roadways. That's where a key problem begins to arise. All that runoff will eventually reach the body of water at the center of its watershed, where it and anything carried with it are deposited. In normal amounts, nitrogen and phosphorus are important to the health of a lake, allowing for aquatic plants to grow, but as a result of human activity, more nutrients are added to the lake system than is needed. This leads to eutrophication, or nutrient pollution, which according to the EPA is one of America's most widespread, costly, and challenging environmental problems. It affects over 100,000 miles of rivers and streams, and close to 2.5 million acres of lakes, ponds, and reservoirs. That's an area over half the size of Lake Ontario. When bodies of water undergo eutrophication, algal blooms are more likely to occur, which decrease the quality of the water, directly affecting the activities we love to do. Algal blooms in the short term are best from interacting with the affected water, but in the long term, algae can do even more damage by reducing the amount of oxygen in the water. Algae are living organisms, so when they die, they also decompose. The microorganisms that break down algae use up oxygen for respiration, and this lowers the dissolved oxygen levels in the water, leading to a state of hypoxia or lack of oxygen. Animals like fish and shellfish can't survive in these conditions, so eutrophication leads to less biodiversity in aquatic ecosystems. If you want to experience this firsthand, Lake Ferdinand experiences algal blooms, and they've become severe enough that the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality and the Panhandle Health District issue warnings to avoid contact with lakes several times during the year due to the toxins produced by some of the algae. Nutrient loading in our watershed is a critical issue for our community, since Coeur d'Alene and the surrounding area is heavily reliant on tourism for our economy. And it's not just Ferdinand Lake that's experiencing water quality issues. Lake Coeur d'Alene is also seeing a decrease in dissolved oxygen levels, which poses a direct threat to one of our economic lifelines. What then can we do as citizens to stop the influx of excess nutrients into our aquatic ecosystems? A much more cost-effective and easier way than rehabilitating polluted lakes is to reduce the amount of nutrients and pollutants that enter the water in the first place, and we can help do this by planting rain gardens. Rain gardens are an incredibly popular tool, especially around the Pacific Northwest, to deal with not only pollutants and excess nutrients, but also reducing the amount of stormwater that enter our waterways. We even have a few in the area in the shaded neighborhood of Spokane, built by the city government and a non-profit called the Lands Council. The gardens are designed so the rainfall that hits the area around it is directed into a depression where the plants of the garden are located. Then, the plants use the nutrients and the water from the runoff to grow. It's a simple system that engages the community in restoring and protecting their natural environment, something that is just as important as finding solutions that positively impact the world around us. And that's why rain gardens are such an interesting tool, because not only are they proven by the US Geological Survey to reduce the amount of pollutants in stormwater, but they also decrease the total volume of stormwater that makes its way to bodies of water, while also giving normal citizens a role in protecting the natural world. It's not a silver bullet. This can't be the only thing we do to help solve this issue. By engaging the community in environmental affairs, we create the passion and the investment necessary to pursue longer-term solutions than just rain gardens.